F1 Manager 24 for the Italian Grand Prix.
With the Italian Grand Prix. Welcome to Life in the Fast Lane. We're here at Monza in Italy, the home of Ferrari. But who will take home the points this weekend? In the last round, Max Verstappen flew to victory. The Dutchman proving that he can be absolutely unstoppable when he's in such fine form. Stay with us then as the weekend gets underway.
And into practice one, Yuki Tsunoda topped it from Lando, Max and George. And then Max, Yuki, Lewis, I believe it was a Haas in P4, then Oscar, Norris, Lawson and a Mercedes, I believe, was the top four in final practice. We've got 95 and 97% driver's confidence as we head into qualifying.
Now it's time to see who'll come out on top as qualifying gets underway.
As we've already seen, Monza is a fast circuit. And it's no wonder the locals call it La Pista Magica, the magic track. For 80% of this lap, the cars are at full throttle, and the engines will need to give it everything they've got here in qualifying.
We're looking at McLaren here. Karun, how do you think their driver will be feeling today?
They set a great lap in practice, so you can only imagine how good they're feeling going into qualifying. But the big question is, will they be able to keep this performance up?
Good point, Karun. Let's get on with qualifying.
Into qualifying one, we go starting our first flying lap in Q1. Hopefully this can be one done like it's been all season. Through turn 1 and turn 2, looks like it's a clean start to that. We have the entire sector to ourselves, so I've really chosen the right time to come out. Got quite lucky with that then, I suppose. And we are coming through the Lesmo 1 for Perez, and now Lesmo 2. Bottas is the driver in front. I don't know what the time comparisons are, but it's green for both drivers. I'm hoping we can slot in between Hamilton and Tsunoda, I'm hoping, because that's the biggest gap, or between Russell and Hatchard. I'm hoping for a bit more than that. Bottas goes P5, Perez goes P4, and that will do into Q2. I believe I saw Fernando Alonso there, just got knocked out. So yeah, that's interesting. First flying lap in Q2 on the scrub set that we've just come off in Q1. I'm not expecting anything from this lap. Maybe it'll be a solid enough banker so that we don't have to go out again for a second time, but we can't bank on that, which is why we've gone out early, just in case we need a fresh set for the second run in Q2 if it's needed. Bottas is fastest, Perez is now fastest in sector 2, but Bottas has taken both sectors away from Perez. Coming down towards Parabolica, I don't think it's called that anymore, but I'm still going to call that because that's all I know it as. And down towards the line, Perez goes P1 with an 18.5, and Bottas goes P1 with an 18.7. Bottas finishes Q2 and P1, Perez finishes Q2 and P9, they both make it through, and we have two fresh runs for
it will be
Q3 coming down into turn 1.
corner.
Trying to get blocked by a V-carb, do get blocked by a Mercedes. Bottas definitely got blocked by that V-carb, and definitely the Mercedes, so I think Bottas' lap is over. It's 28.0 for Perez in the first sector, and it's 29.6 for Bottas in the first sector. So there's no point backing out the lap, we might as well complete it, I think. I'm going to complete it. Perez is currently double purples, Bottas is currently double greens. So as Perez comes round Parabolica, down towards the line, he's going to go up towards the line, and he will finish P1 with a 19.5, and Bottas has 1.7 seconds off that. Perez in P3, Bottas only down in 8th considering how heavily blocked he was. And fresh set of softs again. They're going on for a very good lap hopefully here. Perez green, Bottas green, although that doesn't say a lot about Bottas' lap. It does say a lot about Perez because he's already got a good lap on the board to still be improving on that. Shows that he is going places. Lawson qualifies 5th. Antonelli stays 10th. We're going to start getting more and more cars up to the line. Tsunoda goes 2nd. Hamilton stays where he is. Russell goes up to 4th. Perez can come up towards the line. Leclerc goes third, Perez goes fifth, Bottas goes seventh, and Piastri goes nowhere. He comes into the pits, so it's going to be fifth and seventh for the Grand Prix.
Well, it won't be long before the drivers hit the track for 53 laps around Monza in what should be a fast and fantastic race.
Monza has seen some incredible moments in the past. Pierre Gasly's unexpected 2020 victory reminded us of how wonderfully unpredictable this sport can be.
Monza, a centurion among circuits, dripping with motorsport history. Expect to see cars fly by as 80% of the track is tackled at full throttle. It's not all go, however, and brakes can be prone to overheating through the tight chicanes that Monza has to offer. Race day has arrived, and the time has almost come for these drivers to fight it out, wheel to wheel. Well, it's great to have you with us, folks, as we settle in for the weekend's Grand Prix action. The calm composure of Sergio Perez amongst the hustle and bustle of the grid.
That's a really strong starting position for them in P5. They just need to keep it clean and sensible in the race.
Here we go. It's time to go racing. Here we are at the oldest circuit in Europe for this, the Italian Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
And it's lights out and away we go for the Italian Grand Prix. Bottas up to fourth, fighting Hamilton around turn 1 and turn 2. I do apologise that this video has taken so long to get out, by the way. I've just been really busy. P4 and P6 at the moment. Russell's going to go around the outside. Bottas going to go around the outside of Russell and into P6. Perez is fighting Tsunoda and Leclerc for P2. We're going to save the game just so we don't lose any progress if the game crashed. Apparently there's a voice change that is trying to get me to press, but I'm not going to press it because I'm not that. I'm not just going to press buttons for no reason. Although I doubt that. Anyway, Tsunoda and Leclerc up in front, and then you've got Verstappen just in front of him. Perez sets the fastest lap on that one. Bottas is up to P6. He's got that overtake done on Russell. DRS has been enabled. Max Verstappen's going to try walking away with it now on lap 2. He's 9.5 tenths in front of Leclerc. Perez tries to have a look at the inside of Tsunoda. Nothing coming of it. Into the chicane and through the Lesmos. Leclerc's locked on. Tsunoda hasn't. Tsunoda's been the one losing out on DRS. And Perez might be the one to put himself up into the podium place. Bottas is also close on Lewis Hamilton. Going to try a look around the outside, nothing coming of it. Perez eventually on lap 2 does get Tsunoda. Then he gets Leclerc on lap 3 and shoves Leclerc off. And Tsunoda comes down, Perez is inside, and Perez is down third as Bottas manages to do a stellar move on Lewis Hamilton and Yuki Tsunoda. They're fighting there. I don't actually know what happened there. Perez overtakes Bottas. Perez gets to the inside of Tsunoda. Can't get to the inside of Verstappen. Does manage to get to the inside of Verstappen on lap 7. And we take the lead of the Italian Grand Prix on lap 7. But Verstappen and Perez are fighting down towards the main straight on lap 8. Perez gets the DRS. Verstappen's going to wiggle over. He's going to be forced to slam on the brakes and let 2 Red Bulls and his teammate through. His teammate shoves him onto the grass. And we have a safety car on lap, I want to say it was 10. And look at how many people have pit. Only 4 cars have stayed out, and 2 of them are ours. So we are 50% of the cars that stayed out. Had us 2 have pit, we probably have been, what, 7th and, no, we would have been 5th and 6th, because they would have been 4th, 3rd and 4th. So yeah, we probably would have been quite high. But we're sticking to our strategy down the inside of Verstappen, because we're already on the limit of tyre over this strategy. Jack Doohan is going to go down the inside of the Williams, and is he just going to get clipped in the apex, or is the V-Car going to get him? No, he goes in way too deep. Takes out the Williams, and that is unfortunate. Should really have Franco Colapinto in there, but I forgot to edit it. And safety car is deployed again just a couple laps later, and it turns into a red flag on lap 13, which has massively saved our bacon. Ocon and Bortoleto are out, but we can now change tyres and stay at the front of the field. I don't know if we were 1-2 before that happened, but Bortoleto just goes smashing into the back of Ocon,
Crazy,
and that must have hurt. And red flag, 10 minutes. We are we 1-2 or 1-3? 1-5, okay. I don't know why I thought we were 1-2. But Perez, it's time for him to go on to his second set of mediums. And Bottas is also going to go for his second set of mediums. So we are now on course for our strategy. P1 and P5, and we're on fresh tyres. Bottas only lost a place to Tsunoda. Of the people that are on fresh tyres, that could have been much
Our
worse.
race here resumes as we get back underway. And it's lights out.
It's lights out, and away we go for the Italian Grand Prix for the second time. It's a time penalty for Bortoleto, 5 seconds, but he's outside what would be a good penalty for the next race. Perez gets overtaken, and Bottas manages to do an overtake. Yeah, Perez is down to P2 after being overtaken by Leclerc. Then gets in front of Leclerc, then gets behind Leclerc. Bottas up to P3. Perez gets back up to P1. Him and Leclerc are sort of separated from the pack. And then Leclerc goes round the outside and shoves him off. And then Perez is going to dive down the inside at Ascari, not shove him off, unfortunately. Verstappen overtakes Bottas. Bottas sets the fastest lap. Bottas darts around the inside in order not to hit him. And Bottas is going to go down the inside of Leclerc, round the outside into Ascari, and he's going to have the inside for 2 Lesmos, and Bottas is going to overtake his teammate Perez now. Bottas into P2, and he is going to pit first out of them too, so I wouldn't mind if Bottas stayed in front. Perez and Bottas on lap 31 fighting down towards the inside. Turn 1, turn 2, Perez keeps the place. Perez then makes the place on Verstappen, who's on aging hards. We're on more aging mediums. I think they're all going to stay out, to be honest, and we can be the only ones that pit. Oh, I just knocked the microphone, sorry about that. So Bottas is going to come in for a set of hards. Perez is going to come in this lap, or maybe the lap after.
And
Perez
now,
has just been overtaken for P2.
Yeah,
Bottas is going to come in. We're going to need a quick stop. It's a 2.4, that will do. Let's not do a McLaren and let's not swap the cars just because one had a slow stop. Anyway, out he comes in P8, just behind Isaac Hadjar, and he overtakes Isaac Hadjar on his outlap up to P7, and Bottas comes in 13 seconds to Lando Norris. Is the next challenge for Valtteri Bottas, so we've got a lot of work to do in 20 laps. Perez goes for the hards, but it's a slow stop. It's a very slow stop. We might have to do a McLaren here. 4 seconds lost in that pit stop for Sergio Perez, so it wasn't. It was more disastrous than McLaren, should I say? But he still comes out he comes out P9 behind Russell and Piastri. He gets Piastri around the outside, but Russell is on fresh tyres, so he's going to be a struggle to get. Bottas is at P4, Perez is P6, and Perez was higher up. He was in the race leaders, so we sort of need him to be high up. And Perez is fighting Russell. We have a safety car deployed on lap 42. And then most people come into the pits for softs. We stay on our old hards because I reckon they'll be fresher at the end. We'll just have to deal with a bit of pain at this point. But Bottas gets Hamilton. Perez gets Hamilton, or tries to, but fails. And then Perez gets overtaken by Russell and Norris. Manages to keep it on Russell, but does lose place to Norris. Bottas now goes around the outside of Leclerc and gets it. He's up to P3 on lap 45. He's going to try and fight Tsunoda. Tsunoda's ran away by 4.5 seconds. Max is still in this one. Leclerc gets overtaken by Perez into Lesmo 1. Perez then overtakes Norris. Perez also got Hamilton somewhere. And now Bottas, Verstappen and
Here's the replay.
Perez all
Now
fighting
this is
for that
Sergio
podium
Perez.
place.
Can they squeeze by?
That was a very neat move in the straight on the Ferrari. No idea which Ferrari it was, but Perez thought about the move on his former teammate. Verstappen couldn't quite do it, and Bottas is going to cut Verstappen off. Verstappen's going to overtake Bottas, and Perez is going to try. Not quite going to do it though. Bottas and Perez fighting on lap 48. Hamilton gets his way past. And on lap 49, Verstappen and Bottas fighting again. Bottas going to get the traction. And Perez is going to try and overtake Hamilton. Does get Hamilton with P2 and P3. Verstappen down in P5. 3 laps to go. Bottas and Perez, 3 laps to go fighting. And Bottas can be shoved. Perez can be shoved off by Bottas, opening the door for Hamilton. And Hamilton doesn't quite come through. 2 laps to go. Verstappen is now let through by those guys. And Bottas dives down inside of Perez. Perez gets shoved off and lets Hamilton through. And on the final lap, Bottas and Hamilton start fighting. These 2 former teammates as well. Dives down the inside and he gets the overtake, and we finish P3 and P4. Not bad, but I definitely think we could have got that played in there. And possibly even the win had the race played out without that safety car. But you never know, that was not a bad race. I think everybody would have stayed out, to be honest. But yeah, we'll take 27 points.
And Valtteri Bottas didn't disappoint. The Finn demonstrating his incredible talent.
That was an excellent performance. They set out with a great strategy and it paid off with an impressive podium finish.
That makes it all worth it, doesn't it? Seeing your team ready to share the celebrations. And this man certainly isn't finished with F1, proving he still has plenty to fight for in this sport.
It's wonderful to see them take their first podium of the year. They had to earn it, that's for certain.
And that, right there, is a picture-perfect end to this weekend in Monza. Well, Karun, how do you think they'll be feeling in the team garage at the end of that?
They'll certainly be pleased to have made the podium. A job well done for sure.
And with that, our time in Italy is done for another year.
Formula One will be back to Europe for the next round, on the shores of the Mediterranean, with some heated competition to look forward to in Spain.
Right, we are P3 and P4, up 4 places for Bottas, up 1 place for Perez. Tsunoda goes up 1 place to get a race win, and Lewis was up 2 places. Perez loses a place to Tsunoda in the championship. Hamilton gains 1 on Piastri. And Bottas stays where he is. We stay P3 in the constructors. We get the 3rd fastest pit stop of the day. With Bottas is 2.4. We gain massively on Aston Martin. We get the 1.9 million contract bonus. Not much more you can ask for. We do the pit stop training schedule. And I shall see you next time for some more F1 Manager. Make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.